Guys, today we have a very special interview, all right? So after the second to last episode of The Buttoner, whenever there was that really disconcerting, is that a word? Disconcerting? Feels like it is. Causing one to feel unsettled. Nailed it. Oh my God. There was that really disconcerting scene with Jesse and at the end where he came in and couldn't get a read on him, but the girl's still into him, and then he ended up buttoning her, and it was just a wild, wild moment.
Hi, I'm Laura. Sorry,
Jesse,
my hands are a little
I'm
sweaty.
sorry, I'm out of breath. I was just playing ping pong.
Jesse
What?
is addicted to nicotine patches.
I think it's dangerous to be in a sober state for too long, for me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What do you do for work?
Run a company.
Oh, so you have a lot more freedom where you can.
Oh, right, yeah.
Do you find each other attractive?
I do find you attractive.
I find you attractive, too.
I don't, what? I can't get a read on this. What the fuck? I'm so uneasy.
Want to go on a second date?
I mean, I would like to go on a second date.
I would.
So awkward.
This fucking guy, man. What is it? He seems like a nice guy, but he's sketching me out.
Sorry.
You said you go on a second date
I
with
certainly,
her.
I certainly would. Yeah, I think I would. I think you're great. But
But you just rejected her.
yeah, I went with my gut. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a heuristic I have. So it has to be a very strong, overwhelming yes, otherwise I catch myself and then I'll default to no. I'm an insane person.
I think that was the right choice that he made, to be honest.
How did you not, get that before? You know, I'm not saying this guy's bad, but he's definitely thrown me off a little bit. I don't know what it is, you know?
Yikes. I don't know. Game time, body, functions. I feel so bad. She was so sweet. But that's the nature of the beast, I suppose.
Fucking what the fuck? Well, we hit Jesse up, and because I wanted to chat with him, just see what happened with that, but also find out some stuff about The Button, what it's like to be on the show, you know, what it's like to be in the green room, and whether getting drunk or whatever. So we did like a little, mini podcast, and I thought it was interesting. So here it is. Thanks again to Jesse for doing this, and let me know if you find this interesting. And so here it is. The legend.
Man.
What's up, dude? How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. You know, I watch every single episode of The Button, right? It's like, it's my show.
I think that's what most humans do that, but yeah, I know you do it.
That's true, yeah. I mean, I don't know how you couldn't enjoy it, to be honest. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. I watch every single episode. And then the episode came out with you at the end, and it was potentially the most off-putting moment of the show I've seen thus far.
Right, thanks, yeah.
Not in a bad way.
No, I mean, I wouldn't even, think it's inaccurate if you meant it in a bad way.
It was a very entertaining way, I would say. So you've been doing stuff with The Cut for a long time, right?
Yeah, somebody commented on it, because I'm reading the comments, scouring,
Okay.
just unhealthy, and
Okay.
it was like, dude, this guy's been on Cut for 4 years. I'm like, I've been on Cut for fucking 4 years? And then I looked at the first video I was in, it was like fucking 4 years ago. I've been doing them every few months.
Do they just keep hitting you back? They're like, oh, this guy's great. Let's just get him back for...
I don't know, man, but they've been asking me to keep doing it, and I almost unanimously have had a very positive experience. I have a positive experience every time, but the reception has been generally not bad, so I feel good at all aspects doing them, so I keep saying yes. This was super trippy to have a truly divisive and fear-inducing response for some people.
So what happened? Why were you just being you, or was
So my only goal going into any episode I do is to be as authentic as I can be, because I've done I used to get nervous going to the early ones, and I would be like, maybe I should be like this, and afterwards I would always feel like shit. But then I started being as authentic as I could every time. And even when I didn't like how I came across, at least I was like, okay, that's fine. That's who I am. So some people are like, this dude's in character. I'm like, dude, I wish. I'm trying to be genuinely the most authentic that I could possibly be in that moment. The thing that tripped me up was I was having an extreme anxiety reaction. So normally when I go into these things, I'm nervous, but so I saw it coming. I was like, of course I'll be nervous. But when I got called out, I started having very mild like panic attack symptoms, like when like my breath is very short and the air only reaches like
I hate that. Oh.
my chest and then it comes back out. So like I just would keep saying stuff because I was like anxious. I don't know. I would just say stuff.
When you go on a show like The Button, first of all, do you know what you're going on? Like, do they tell you beforehand, like, oh, it's a dating show?
Yeah, it's not like Too Hot to Handle where they're like, come on board, we're gonna guess what college major people have. Just kidding, you're on the fucking butt.
And are you like, is your intention to find love, or are you just like, I'm just doing this YouTube show?
No, I love intimacy, so like I like am thrilled anytime I can find like a genuine intimate experience. I fucking love it.
Okay.
But I don't think anybody goes into any dating show expecting to find love. I'm just like an open-minded guy.
Didn't you hit the button at the end?
Yeah.
Well, and it was going so well too.
I was watching your video and you're like just seeing my choice affect you so viscerally was crazy. I was like, this dude's across the country and I made him leave his chair. That's like magic.
That's why I love the show, because everything comes down to that like last moment, and when it's like going well and then someone just decides at the last second to like flip their decision, it gets me, man.
Yeah.
It's nothing better. It's a rush. It's an adrenaline rush.
Yeah, I could tell. I spurred your endorphins, but I was really conflicted that whole time because I went in, not really with a strategy, but I had like one general idea that I wanted to do, which was like, I'll just get buzzed out. So if you look at my posture, I'm like, like everybody's like right next to the button pretending like they're relaxed, but their like hand is fucking like quivering right.
Yeah, right.
I'm leaning back. I'm like, I'm just like, I don't want any of that. That would just induce more anxiety to feel like I gotta like beat somebody.
Right.
So I was just like, buzz me out. And then when I realized that I wasn't gonna get buzzed out, I think I panicked because then I was like, there's like a degree of conversational compatibility that is missing between me and this person.
I see, yeah.
That would make this probably unideal for both of us if we were to like spend 90 minutes together.
Yeah, makes sense. What's it like in the green room? Like, are you guys just conspiring back there? Are you getting hammered? What's going on?
Dude, I'm completely sober in this video, man. I know everybody thought I was on drugs, but I was actually the only person completely sober because everybody was like drinking White Claws and taking tequila shots. I didn't do it because it was fucking 12:30 p.m. and I thought it would make me sleepy.
Yeah.
It feels like I hadn't been in a room full of like 10 strange men since I was in a fraternity. So it was like, I was like, whoa.
And they're all single.
Yeah. And they're all like dressed really nicely. I walked in, there was like a better looking version of me, this like 6'3", he must have been 7 feet tall, dude. Asian guy, like perfect hair. And I just felt like really, I don't know, like intimidated. So I was just like, I'm like intimidated and kind of freaking out.
And what about the person that voices it? Like, is it the little robot voice in person, or?
It's powered by ChatGPT. It's a state-of-the-art conversation.
I wouldn't doubt it, dude. That's what you're gonna start doing for sure.
I'm pretty sure it's Blaine, which is like the guy who runs.
Yeah, but is there a speaker in it and the voice is coming out of the little box?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or high tech over there. That cut.
Yeah, really,
wow.
Right? Yeah, man. I read the comments and I like had a truly like my out of body negative experience. I was just like, is my life over? Because your body doesn't know how to react to like tens of thousands of people deciding you're like awful. So like truly like
I don't think people thought you were awful. They were just like, what is with this guy? What is he saying?
Yeah, there are at least 20,000 people who said they should lock me in that room and never leave me out. But like when I saw your reaction to me, I felt good because you didn't leap to those same conclusions. You're just like, I can't figure this guy out. I'm still exactly right now. I'm still very self-conscious about how I came across because I don't feel like, I mean, that was me. I was not trying to be something, but do you ever have like a version of you that like you hope people don't see? Like if I'm really angry, I don't like it, but especially the part that's really unpredictable is when I'm extremely anxious.
Yeah, same. When I'm having a panic attack, I'm like a totally different person.
Totally.
Like.
Yeah. So that's what was happening to me. The first thing I said when I came out, I said, "Oh, sorry, my hands are sweaty. I was playing ping pong."
I'm Laura. Sorry,
Jesse,
my hands are a little
I'm
sweaty.
sorry, I'm out of breath. I was just playing ping pong.
The second thing I said, by the way, I am currently undergoing like an extreme anxiety reaction.
And they cut it out?
That you should have for this. Yeah, 100%. But like they cut out a lot of stuff. They can't include everything.
That was another question I had, by the way, is how much do they cut out? Because it sometimes feels like they're like Frankensteining this dialogue that like doesn't fit at all. And I'm like, How long are you guys sitting there for?
I think it varies. Like I remember when I was in the waiting room, there are some guys who were in there for so long. So I think depending on how like it's going. I mean, it's the button, dude. The button, the AI has some kind of algorithm. It's
Yeah, they decide.
right, and
Yeah.
it's like, okay, we've like. Yeah. So that wasn't even the end. It looks like it's the end of like the shoot day. There's another girl who came out, and then we won. And then it was like a nice day. They didn't include it. So hopefully there's another episode.
Yeah, that's the thing I noticed is like they use the same like. Yeah, I always figured they shot multiple episodes at a time because you see the same people come through with the same clothing and everything.
Right.
So you're telling me that's a spoiler. We're gonna see you win at the end of one of these one day, probably.
If they include it, yeah, it happened.
And did you go on the second date?
I flew out of town the next day, and then when I came back, I think she got married and like has a boyfriend.
She got married?
But she has a boyfriend. I think she has a boyfriend.
Damn, well, we got some spoilers then. I hope Cut's not mad that we just ruined that episode for them. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate the BTS. This was great. This was great.
Yeah, man, I love the videos. I think it's cool. I think those I think people reacting to it is cool. I think the button's cool. I think it's all.
Me too. I think it's cool too. I like watching it. I think Cut did a good job. I agree. You got anything you want to plug?
I have an Instagram, Jesse Warren Bruh.
Go check them out. Hilarious. All right, dude. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks,
good chatting.
dude. It was really cool talking to you.
Yeah, for sure. There you have it, folks. There's some interesting little tidbits about what goes on in the cutting room floor. That was really interesting. He's a nice guy, actually. So I do think it would be a lot harder than it seems to like maintain composure on that show. But at this point, we have analyzed it way too much. It's just a silly YouTube show, but it continues to be funny to do so, to overanalyze it. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to, click that little thumbs up like button for Jesse, and we'll see you guys next time. Appreciate it.